Attract, and I'm very happy to introduce you Thomas Shields. Our next speaker is Director of Product Marketing at Superside. Thomas, welcome. There you go. And I'll share the slide and I'll leave the stage to you.
Fantastic, thank you. Hello, everyone. I would like to invite everyone who's here today to take 10 minutes to be honest. I'll start. My name is Thomas Shields, and to be honest, have been guilty of treating creative teams like a short order chef. If anyone else here is feeling moved to open up and face some of the sins of how we've worked with creative teams as marketers, please do so. The chat is open and everyone is here for you. This is a safe space. Today we'll be talking about this topic. To introduce myself, my name is Thomas Shields. I'm the Director of Product Marketing at a company called Superside. Superside helps brands like Amazon, Meta, Salesforce, Webflow, Strava get creative done in a new way. I'm not going to go into my interesting fact. You'll have to follow up with me on social media if you want to hear about the time I went on a date with the daughter of our current US sitting president. Fun story, but you'll have to find me on LinkedIn or Twitter for that one. My background is I've spent 10 years in B2B SaaS marketing, mostly doing product marketing. I've had designers report to me. I've worked with large creative teams, internal creative teams, sometimes dysfunctionally, if we're being honest. And I've worked with many agencies and freelancers. So I've got a lot of experience in this. And this is what I think about all day at Superside, working on this issue of the creative challenge. So in today's world, creative is more important than ever to deliver marketing performance. It is the tool, in my opinion. And in fact, at VaynerMedia this year, they've started calling creative the only variable, meaning that the algorithms and all the other things you could tweak in digital marketing have become so smart. The thing that you as a marketer or creative team have the most control over is the quality and style and message you're sending through the creative. That's the variable that you have to deliver performance. So in today's world, it's not just enough though to deliver really high quality creative work, right? The Mad Men days, they've been doing great high quality work. That's great, creative's been around. What has changed in today's world is not just the need for quality, it's the need for speed and timeliness. And third, the scale has radically increased with the explosion of digital channels, in-housing teams, creative teams, an explosion of tools to give people more control. The demand is bigger than ever, and the need to refresh creative has increased in today's noisy digital world where things are much more temporal. The data backs up the importance of creative, and you can see the impact of strong creative really at every kind of level of marketing performance there is. You can see it at the revenue level. More creative companies or companies with stronger creative have better revenue growth. Marketing teams that deliver highly creative campaigns outperform less creative campaigns. I think a lot of these are somewhat intuitive. The last one that was really interesting to me, and there are two studies that back this data point up about digital advertising, that 70, and those come from Ipsos and Google, so great sources. Their studies have shown that 70 to 75% of digital ad performance comes from creative. And I think this is most interesting because the digital advertising world is the one that is so quantitative, right? And creative feels very qualitative. But even in this world where things are much more quantitative and clear, creative is just incredibly important for driving marketing performance. So knowing this, it sort of boggles the mind that I've done this maybe you've done this, is treat creatives like short order chefs. And when we do that, we always, you can say otherwise, but we all do this. We all expect these Michelin star results. We expect to be blown away by what we get back. The reality is that so much volume is coming down the pipe. Most creatives can't keep up with the demand, and they can't keep up with the speed at which it's required. I'm guilty, again, in being honest here, I'm guilty of not always giving them the lead time that they need to do the best work. Maybe you have too. And as a result, folks end up like Lucy here. Just things are coming down the pipeline, tickets are coming down as fast as ever, and they're doing whatever they can to manage those tickets, maybe eating a few pieces of candy along the way like Lucy, throwing a few down your shirt, etc., doing whatever you can to do to get by. And what happens is that creatives become less strategic, they become more order takers, the quality of creative goes down in this situation. And it's something that we've kind of accepted a lot of times as the status quo, is like, this is just how it is. And I think to change this, I want to introduce this 2x2 to help us think through, how do we solve this problem? So there's really, what's needed here is a galaxy of kind of solutions. If you'll bear with me on that pun. Let's walk through what those are briefly. So there's more strategic solutions to solving the creative challenge, more tactical, there's in-house and there's outsource. Starting with your internal creative team, a critical piece of the pie, right? Your creative team should be doing mostly strategic work. If they're not, you need to look for solutions. You can optimize your internal creative teams, right? You can give them tools, ticketing tools, other things. Those are going to be tweaks and are important to do. But like ultimately, the other way you could solve the problem is trying to hire. But we know hiring in today's world is very hard. And we also know that you'll probably never be able to hire for all of your needs. So pros and cons of each one. Internal teams, we know that they get the brand, they get the strategy, they understand what's going on. So we need to let them do that work. Second in-house tool is self-service tools. Getting a digital asset management tool, putting in templates for PowerPoints, one-pagers, even digital advertising, or even video. We've seen some folks do. This is great. Folks should definitely do this. What we've seen is that this isn't necessarily a game changer in solving the problems. It's a nice step, helps take some of the tactical work off your internal team's plate. So you also need to look at outsourcing. It's really a must for modern marketing creative teams. And there's two typical solutions. One are creative agencies. They are set up to do more strategic work. That's the kind of work that they are built around. That's what's most valuable to their business. And they can do great work and do it at scale. They have typically an expertise, right? Like a video agency, a branding agency, a web design agency. And if you don't have that expertise, or you need some help there, or you need some scale, they can often do that. But we know it can be hard working with them. They can be inflexible. They can be expensive. Rarely will they do everything you need. And as I mentioned before, they want to do strategic work. That's what their business is set up to do. So that usually comes at the expense of your internal creative team. And so the business model is not set up for them to be good partners with your internal team. The other area that you outsource to are freelancers. The explosion of freelancer networks really speaks to the challenges I think that agencies have in serving the needs here. Freelancers can be great. They can be really fast and flexible. Sometimes they are excellent at producing work at low cost. They can be really affordable and save you budget, but they're not a panacea either, right? They don't scale, right? If you want more stuff done, you need to find another freelancer, right? More overhead, more challenges of time finding someone, getting them set up, managing them, etc. They're inherently unreliable, and sometimes, and by that I just mean not that they're bad, but simply that someone could get sick, someone may have to take on work from another client or find a full-time job, and so it can be hard to know with confidence they'll be available in the future. And then lastly, sometimes they will struggle to support more strategic work, which could be okay, but they're not a great solution for that. So the problem with the current world is that the outsourcing solutions, as we kind of got to, leave you with a lot of vendors on your budget, each requiring different management, passing on a lot of this overhead onto you. They each have, from creative agencies, freelancers have challenges of being maybe expensive or slow or inflexible on the creative side, or they might be unreliable, time consuming to deal with, lack the scale and reliability at the freelancer level. And this is kind of what we've been stuck with in terms of trying to solve this creative solution from an outsourcing standpoint. And this is really why Superside was created. We started 2018 and have been working with hundreds of brands to help them with a different model of outsourcing. And we call this model Creative as a Service. Creative as a Service is something that Superside has pioneered. There are a number of other creative subscriptions or design subscriptions that are also in the market, so we're not the only ones out there. What is Creative as a Service? It's a new model for creative and design outsourcing that really takes the best of the agency and freelancer models without having the hassle that each one has. Creative as a Service will deliver high quality creative and design faster, more reliably, and at the scale that you need to get that marketing performance we've been talking about in this digital first noisy world that's hard to compete in. It is technology. So CAS is technology enabled. It's a subscription similar to SaaS. And it will deliver compelling creative on demand, so really fast, within a clear, defined budget. You have total control and transparency around what you're getting for what you pay. And it's able to do it at a scale and breadth of skills that's really unparalleled by agencies or freelancers. How does that work? How do you get all these benefits from CAS? Sounds great, right? So what CASs do is they combine three key elements in a unique way to provide this new solution. First is providing remote access to remote creative talent. And unlike a freelancer network, this is a fully managed experience. So you're not going into a marketplace, you're going in and working with a select group of creatives, and it's in an experience where it's managed at Superside. We give you a creative project manager and a creative director who are your points of contact, and the actual designers and folks doing the work. You may have 30 people working on a project, designers. You don't have to deal with 30 people, right? You have your points of contact to ensure things go smoothly, the project is well managed, the creative quality is well managed, it's on brand, etc. So that's how we do it. We have, I think, like 700 people now working for us at Superside doing this kind of work. Second piece that defines CAS is that it's technology enabled. So you go to an online platform, which is used for briefing in projects, reviewing and communicating on creative projects that are in motion, and connecting with your points of contact at the Creative as a Service company. It simplifies the experience. It enables things to be always on. At Superside, we cover all 24 hours. We will have people working in your time zone. And so you can go brief in, work at any time, and we'll get started and then actually be able to work essentially while you're sleeping. So that's a cool part of our particular model in particular. So you got the people, the remote, all connected through the technology to make things work really smoothly for the end user. And then third is you have this subscription model. So the subscription model makes CAS an ongoing solution. It's not just for one project. It's something that you would always want kind of on your books, and it's always available. And because you can use the subscription across different types of projects, so from video to digital ads to brand to whatever, you can use it in different ways to fill in gaps. It covers both the more tactical production work as well as more of the strategic creative work that you might need to outsource. And since CASs are a little less built around just doing strategic work, we end up being a better partner to your internal teams. The subscription model is kind of what enables this, right? So you're similar to your SaaS tools, right? They're ongoing subscription. This is always available. In the case of Superside, you get hours that you can use however you want on, video, whatever kind of like different agency service or production service you would need. And then if you don't use them, they just roll over to the next month. So you know exactly what you're getting and have this flexibility to kind of treat a company like Superside as a all-in-one or one-stop shop for creative resources. And then lastly, CASs are flexible, right? They're not rigid like agencies. So a CAS could replace all of your agencies or freelancers, this big list, or it could replace some. And because we work well with internal creative teams, we work just as well with agencies or freelancers. So if you have a great branding agency, you're going through a rebrand, but they don't want to do all the execution work, a CAS solution might be something you want to look at. So,
Thomas, sorry, I have to stop you. We are way over time.
Oh, I am so sorry. Yeah, I ran.
With our format, we need to be strict on timing.
Absolutely. Totally understand. If you're interested in learning more about CAS, come to Superside, check it out. And we also have a guide to give you more tips on the tackling this challenge.
Just shared in the chat the link to the guide. Thomas,
thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Have any time for a question? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back in 4 minutes.